Welcome back to the Living in Naples channel. I'm James Headley. Today's episode falls under that general category of episodes where I look at a recently published article or study and provide both my personal professional perspective as well as translating to the local market here in South Florida. Before I delve into these top 10 seller mistakes from this recent piece, let me thank you for tuning into the channel and liking, subscribing, and sharing. Please do continue to do so. I appreciate it very much. With that, let's turn to the number one seller mistake, which is probably no surprise to anyone. It is pricing too high. I can't say it any better, so I will just use the words from the article. It's no secret, price is everything. Overpricing does more to discourage buyers than any other single factor. When you overprice, you put your home in competition with homes that may be newer, larger, or have more amenities than yours. You help your competition sell their homes. This leads to long days on the market and costs you, the seller, money in the long run. Make sure you get the pricing advice from an experienced professional real estate agent who knows the market. I will simply add that you need to be realistic about where the market is today versus where it was a year or more ago when your old neighbor may have sold, for example. Prices are still higher than pre-COVID, but the market is dramatically softer than it was even a year ago. Number two is poor condition. Hopefully you aren't combining number one and number two here. Before listing, do what you can to make your home shine as best it can, and at the same time, recognize the pricing trade-offs pending the current state of your home. Number three is poor curb appeal. Keep in mind that even a minimal amount of investment in landscaping, for instance, can help with your home's marketability. Maybe an exterior paint job can do some wonders as well, for example. Number four is dreary, dark homes don't sell. This one seems pretty straightforward, so I will just add that if your listing agent chooses to use photos that make your house look even darker than it is, you aren't doing yourself any favors. I'm always amazed that someone will entrust someone to sell their asset that's worth many hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions, but let that person get away with not spending a few $100s for professional photography. If a buyer doesn't like your listing photos, they are not going to see your home in person, even if it shows better than the photos. Number five is don't over-improve. Get your home in good showing condition, but don't overdo it. Huge projects such as complete remodels of kitchens, adding decks, and expanding room sizes may not pay back your investment. Keep in mind that your taste may not be the same as your eventual buyers, and you need to walk that tightrope between this one and number two above, for example. Brings us to number six, and that's be financeable. Given both the cash-only or cash-equivalent offers that dominate here, as well as the few exceptions related to roofing that impact insurance more than anything, I'm going to move on to number seven, which is get good advice and good market exposure. Along with getting the pricing right, the biggest contribution that your listing agent can make is to get your home in front of the right people in the best light possible. I'm going to be blunt here and say that it ought to be crystal clear just from reading some listing descriptions that are only a few sentences long who is actively marketing your home widely versus expecting buyers to find you on their own. Also, you might want to keep in mind that there is this channel out here that you found. With that said, number eight is don't be present during showings. I know you think you're the exception because you know your home better than anyone. You will know when to stay out of the way. You have a background in sales and marketing, etc. You aren't. Just leave for showings. Simply said. Number nine is let your agent do the negotiating. I might not phrase this as strongly because I think of this as a team endeavor with the professional you hire to be your agent. But that said, just avoid thinking that you know better in the face of data or letting negotiations get personal. Your home is obviously personal to you, but selling it is a business transaction. And that brings us finally to number 10, which is act fast with offers. It's always a good thing to be responsive in life, I believe, but I would just add the reminder here that you hopefully hired an agent who both knows how to negotiate best on your behalf and also has your best interests at heart. Is your agent in the volume business, or are they realistically patient when it comes to selling your home? Can they tell you why an offer is a good or a bad one, or are they just trying to move on to the next transaction? These are just a couple of questions that you might want to keep in mind. I hope this was helpful to you, and of course, if you're thinking about selling your home in Southwest Florida, I'd welcome the opportunity to discuss how we might work together to get you the best price possible. Until then, thanks again for tuning in and liking, subscribing, and sharing, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next episode.